The World Cup is here and the Gunners are on fire. So today we'll break down a masterclass as Bukayo Saka made history, get an update from Emile Smith-Rowe on his potential return, as well as a transfer update from Memphis Depay, Leroy Sané and Declan Rice. We'll also find out if Arsenal are signing a £20 million midfielder for Brazil. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the World Cup, but at the same time the Arsenal is being missed. So if you enjoy this video, go down there, smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Road to 130k, let's make it happen. We're starting off with the Gunners shining at the World Cup. Arsenal's reserve goalkeeper Matt Turner is the #1 for the United States, and in their first game against Wales at the World Cup, played a full 90 minutes and made a string of very good saves as the USA drew with Wales 1-1. The XG massively in favour of the Welsh, so despite conceding a penalty, for Matt Turner to keep the score at 1-1 is massive. But talking of Arsenal players shining, our star boy, our #7 Bukayo Saka, in his first ever start at the World Cup, scored 2 fantastic goals and was named the official man of the match. And in terms of them stats, 70 minutes played, 2 goals scored, a 0.15 expected assist, 23 passes completed, 4 dribbles as well, winning 4 ground duels, 3 recoveries, drawing 2 fouls, creating 1 chance and also 1 interception. Bukayo Saka announced himself on the world scene. The first one showcases lethal and top ball striking. Left-footed volley, top bins, that's what you like to see. But the second for me was all about the coaching of Mikel Arteta. There's actually a very good video of Arteta on YouTube, coaching freestyler Jeremy Lynch, of how to cut inside and giving yourself the best chance of scoring. And that coaching was now taken to a world stage by Bukayo Saka. Cutting inside on his left foot, it's all about the lapels, the extra little dummy. It gives himself more time and more space to place the ball into the back of the net. Another example of Arteta's ability to coach wide forwards. And after scoring 2 goals at 21 years and 77 days old, Saka is the youngest player to score 2+ goals in his first World Cup game since Franz Beckenbauer in 1966. And that's not the only sensational stat, as Bukayo Saka has now scored more World Cup goals with 2 than Wayne Rooney and Paul Scholes. The mental strength they must take, having missed a decisive penalty at the Euro 2021 final, to come back to Arsenal to have your best season with 11 goals and 7 assists, and start off this campaign in flying fashion, helping Arsenal top of the Premier League. As Bukayo Saka's former PE teacher says, I sent him a message before he went out, just wishing him good luck and to enjoy it. He sent one back saying he will come back and finish the job at Arsenal after Christmas, so I was happy with that. With all that Saka's achieved at 21 years of age, Arsenal have a mentality monster in the making. And in terms of his future, according to the Footy Insider, it's believed that talks for Saka's contract extension at Arsenal are progressing well between both parties, and the club have let it be known to commercial partners that they fully expect a full agreement to be secured soon. But that's been the case for a very long time. But with Bukayo Saka now going to the World Cup and showcasing his skills on the world stage, a lot of the elite top clubs like Real Madrid are definitely going to be watching, because the longer this process goes, the more expensive Bukayo Saka is going to get. But talking of Arsenal star boys, our #10 Emile Smith-Rowe was tweeting his support for Saka, and Smith-Rowe was also seen at the very recent Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He says, hopefully I'll be back for the first game after the World Cup. I'm actually out here doing rehab. I'm back on the pitch and stuff, so it's going well. Now, other reports have claimed that ESR is actually back in January, but according to the man himself, who of course knows more than anyone, that Boxing Day game against West Ham is when ESR is planning for a return. But that being said, comment down below, where do you think a fully fit and firing Emile Smith-Rowe fits into the current Arsenal team? But in terms of the other Arsenal players at the World Cup, there was no start for Aaron Ramsdale or Ben White, and likewise for William Saliba, left on the bench for France's game against Australia where they won 4-1, with the likes of Upamecano and Konate both starting above him. And there are quite a few confused Arsenal fans that can't believe that a player the quality of Saliba is sitting on the bench. But this could be the best thing for Arsenal. If during the World Cup he can stay on the bench, reduce any risk of injuries, and come back to Arsenal fully fit and rested, then this might be a blessing in disguise. And coming up in the next few days, we should see Tomiyasu start for Japan against Germany, Xhaka captain in his country, Jesus and Martinelli versus Serbia, and Thomas Partey in a massive game for Ghana against Portugal. Moving on to the latest Arsenal transfer news. And starting off with the forward is at the World Cup with the USA and plays his football in the MLS. According to Dean Jones, Arsenal have scouted FC Dallas and US men's national team striker Jesus Ferreira, and the 21-year-old scored 18 goals and notched 6 assists across 33 matches with the MLS side in the 2022 season and playoffs. Born in Colombia but plays for the USA, for whom he has a very impressive record of 7 goals in 15 appearances. He was on the bench for the game against Wales, and with 24 goals and assists last season, it definitely catches the eye. But in terms of physical profile, standing only at 5'9", he does struggle in terms of aerial duels, similar size to Gabriel Jesus. And that's where for me it gets a bit technical, because for me, if Arsenal are going to sign a brand new striker, I'd prefer it to be more of a target man and an alternative to Gabriel Jesus. According to reports in Spain, Arsenal are reportedly interested in Barcelona forward Memphis Depay. Arsenal, United and Chelsea have shown interest but are waiting to see how the Dutchman performs at the World Cup. Barca want to save on the wage bill and could sell the 28-year-old in January. Out of contract in 2023, Barca are in urgent need of money and want to sell as soon as January, and the fact that he's only started 2 games this season shows that he's out of favour, scoring 12 goals and getting 2 assists last season, but his last standout season was at Lyon, where he had a combined 34 goals and assists in just 37 appearances. What makes Depay a very intriguing option is his ability to play across the front three. So for an Arsenal team looking for experience and a versatile goal scorer, comment down below if you think Arsenal should sign Memphis Depay. But talking of big name forwards, let's talk Leroy Sané. According to 90 Min's Graham Bailey, sources have confirmed that a number of clubs, including Arsenal, have asked about Leroy Sané's situation at Bayern, but the club have made it clear they have no intentions of letting him leave. Arsenal and Leroy Sané was definitely a thing in the summer, with even Fabrizio Romano previously confirming Sané could be an option, but he doesn't think he'll be a priority as Arsenal wants a younger player. Now Sané at 26 is by no means old, in fact he's in the peak of his powers, and this year in 19 appearances he has 10 goals and 6 assists, and with the history of working under Mikel Arteta, the name of Leroy Sané is always going to be there. He would definitely cost upwards of 60 to 70 million pounds, and Arsenal have a different transfer strategy where they often go for profiles over names, but by being top of the Premier League, we are at a different stage of the project, so we're now going to have to wait and see if Arsenal evolve their transfer strategy and make a move for a player like Leroy Sané. But in terms of Arsenal's main targets, as per Fabrizio Romano, I think the main priority is Mudryk, but it's all about the price because Shakhtar have been really strong in negotiations for more than a year. They want big money for Mudryk and it is not easy. Now there is a lot of things to like about Mudryk and to why Arsenal want to sign him. The pace, the dribbling, the technical ability. It was once again showcased in Mudryk's latest goal, picking the ball up at the halfway line, dribbling all the way to the opposition box and smashing the ball into the back of the net. Despite all of the obvious qualities, I actually have a little bit of a concern with Mudryk being a right-footed at Friars on the left-hand side, and that's where Arsenal have Gabriel Martinelli and Emil Smith-Rowe. But on the right-hand side we've only got Bukayo Saka. Talk to me in the comments if you think Mudryk should be the priority. But in terms of the midfielders, according to Brazilian journalist Jorge Nicola, when Arsenal's rejected €25 million bid for Danilo on deadline day in September, he says if this proposal was repeated, Palmeiras would end up negotiating the sale of the athlete. Now this is coming from a very reliable source, in fact the first person to report Arsenal's interest in Gabriel Jesus. But as reported by James Ollie of ESPN, when Arsenal inquired about Danilo in the summer, they were told Palmeiras had no interest in selling players while pursuing their 11th Brazilian Serie A title. But since then, sources have said Palmeiras have softened their stance, which has led Arsenal to revive their interest. But the same report confirms that Arsenal also have competition from Ajax and AS Monaco, but Palmeiras have indicated they will be willing to accept around €24 million. As Ollie claims Palmeiras own 80% of Danilo's rights, and sources suggest that they are seeking €20 million. His boyhood club Cajazeiras own the other 20%, but there is said to be confidence a fee for their part could be negotiated, making the overall fee lower than €24 million. This is a very affordable transfer. The fact that Arsenal have already made an offer, and the fact that he is a long-term target, it's starting to feel inevitable that Arsenal are going to make a new offer in January, and there's a very good chance that gets accepted. But talking of midfielders, let's talk Declan Rice. According to Matt Law, Rice's contract is due to expire in 2024, and next summer will represent West Ham's last chance to bank a big fee unless he signs a long-term deal, which he has no intention of doing, and so far 2 clubs have already registered strong interest in the player. If we're talking Premier League proof proven, ready-made number 6s, Declan Rice certainly fits the bill. He would still be very expensive, we're talking upwards of 60 to 70 million pounds. As expensive as it may be, signing a player like Rice also represents less risk. Also keeping in mind his leadership profile being the West Ham captain, I would not be surprised if Arsenal were one of the two teams holding interest in the player. Moving on to the other Arsenal news, and starting off with our captain Martin Odegaard and a bit of an injury concern, as playing in a friendly for Norway against Finland, as the report claims Odegaard got hit towards the end of the match and was clearly in pain, and after the game he did not appear in the interview zone. He was one of the last to leave and limped into the team bus. Despite it being a friendly, Odegaard played a full 90 minutes and the game ended 1-1, and this would be a low-key concern, but at the same time the fact that he now has over a month to recuperate and to recover. Despite not having the full breakdown, I'm not too overly concerned and I think Odegaard should be fine. Moving on to reports from the Footy Insider saying that Man City will not sell any more first team players to Arsenal, with questions being asked at the club about why they allowed two first team players to join a rival who are now their biggest competition to win the title. Now there's no denying the introduction of Jesus and Zinchenko has leveled up the Arsenal team, and with us being 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League, I can understand the questions being asked. But I also think Man City have to remind themselves, it was Arsenal that sold them the likes of Kolo Touré, Adebayor, Sami Nasri, Angel Clichy, that gave them the platform to build their initial success. So if anything, it was about time these guys returned the favour, and with them now seeing us as their competition, if anything it shows how far as a club we have come. But talking of Man City, according to David Ornstein, Pep Guardiola has agreed a new contract at the club, with the Spaniard set to sign a new 2-year deal with the club. If Guardiola stays at Man City, it's definitely going to be massive, because right now he's the massive obstacle between us and winning a Premier League title. But mountains are there to be climbed, and as Arsenal make more progress as a team, sign better players and find the squad depth, the real test is for Mikel Arteta to see if he's able to showcase the ability to go toe to toe with one of his former teachers in Pep Guardiola. But that's the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, make sure to go down there to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure to also follow your boy on all of the social medias, the links are down below in the description. But that was all of today's latest Arsenal news, and as Saka shines at the World Cup, the World Cup fever is definitely here, and I will see you next time. Take care of yourselves and in a bit.